Canadians are doing this much better than we are. You can go to a Canadian federal government website and find the list of types of people they're looking for. They're looking for carpenters, they're looking for microbiologists, and a variety of other things. We haven't done that very well. We just sort of take them as they come. And we do a disservice to ourselves. In this issue, frankly, I think the Washougal City Council has already seized the high ground, the moral high ground. And finally, I would conclude that it really is too late to blame President Bush for anything. Folks, again, please. Councilman Delver.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. By the way, for the record, I have read the SB 1070, Arizona's law, and what I found in it that was very interesting is regarding the day laborers issue. It actually addresses that as a traffic issue, not a day laborer issue. So it actually talks about if traffic is being impeded because of day laborers on the side of the road, that itself is something that can be resolved by local law enforcement. I do have some concerns about the SB 1070. I did vote in favor of this resolution. However, I'm not going to kid you, I do have some concerns about it. One concern that I have, a very large concern, is that if we go for enforcement only, that ignores other aspects of the contentious issue that we are all aware of. And I believe enforcement only is inappropriate. And one analogy that I've used many times before is in the case of Disneyland. How Disneyland gets everybody to go home at the end of the day is they don't just round them up and put them in buses and send them on home. Instead, they turn the rides off. And when they turn the rides off, people go home on their own because there's nothing to draw them to it. And in many cases, I believe that we can do that as well. With regards to the resolution that we passed, one thing I wanted to point out specifically is that we asked our state legislature to adopt a resolution similar to SB 1070. There are some potential problems with SB 1070 in Arizona. One potential problem is the mandate that enforcement officers, our law enforcement officers, are required to do certain actions, rather than giving them the judgment call to apply that part of the law or not in that instance. Certainly, that judgment can be abused, but a mandate that requires exactly certain actions on this issue may also be abused very easily as well. With regards to what my biggest concern about SB 1070, it's if it provides for pressure towards a national ID program. That is a serious concern of mine, and one that I think we should be very wise to take a very close look at. It's not likely to be a headlining issue on this topic. However, it's one that I think we need to be careful about. So as far as that's concerned, those are my comments, and I thank you for your indulgence.
Thank you. Jennifer.
I do. I'd like to also speak on this issue. In my opinion, the importance of protecting our borders is every American's business, even in Little Washougal. The resolution petitions our Washington state legislators to take a stance and do something about this problem, as Arizona has done. As a governing body of a city, we can only turn to our state government, who can then petition the federal government. When the federal government shirks their responsibility of securing our borders, states should have the right to protect their citizens. This illegal immigration issue, the resulting cost to taxpayers, and the crime which comes with it affects all Americans, not just those residing in border states, which we happen to do. AZSB 1070 mirrors the federal laws already in place, and I have no problem with the state granting the additional authority to their local law enforcement officers so they can bring these criminals in and turn them over to federal authorities. I was appalled when I learned that some city councils in the state of Washington passed resolutions to boycott the state of Arizona. What gall. Recently, a citizen came to city council and asked us to weigh in on the situation, and we felt the obligation to discuss it. Councilman Russell then came to a meeting with a draft of a resolution other cities have passed, and it was debated further and discussed by all. He was very much within his rights to ask that it be put on the agenda for the council meeting. I supported that, and I voted in favor of the resolution. I stand by my support of the resolution because it lets our legislators in Olympia know that we would support our state's right to enforce our federal illegal immigration laws if they choose to pass such a measure. City councils have and do send messages of support or disagreement on issues which affect their citizens through resolutions, declarations, etc. It is not out of line or unusual. The problem of illegal immigration, in my opinion, is one of these issues which touches every one of us, including Washougal citizens.
Thank you, Jennifer. Any other council? Rod?
Yeah, I just want to state that I have not read that House bill in Arizona either, but when I voted on this one, it was simply to do what I said when I was elected, to support the laws and of the Constitution of the United States, support the laws of the Constitution of the State of Washington, and support the laws of the Constitution of the City of Washougal. And that's why I voted for him, to send the message to just enforce the laws as they're written.
John?
I want to thank everyone from both sides of the issue for coming out this evening, and I do apologize that we weren't able to get to everyone to have you speak. This is an important issue. It affects all of us. It affects us from our education system, healthcare system, public safety as well, and it does have an impact. I do think that there needs to be a productive discussion on how to deal with the illegal immigration issue. One thing that we did is we passed a resolution. We passed a resolution stating that we wanted the state of Washington and our state delegation to sponsor a bill similar to the one that was passed in Arizona. Not exact, similar. There is great value in instructing our state representatives and our state delegation in the way that a particular city would like to go. We felt very strongly about this as the majority on the council. No regrets. And had to do it over again, we would do it the same way. At least I would. And so I want to thank you all again for coming out this evening. This isn't a very important issue. It's important that every city council and every county commission speak up on this issue. It affects all of us. So encourage those of you that aren't from Washougal, encourage your city council members, encourage your county council members to take a stand and to speak up. Let the federal government hear you on this issue. We can't be silent on this, and I just want to encourage you to go back to your homes and communities and get this done all across Clark County. Thank you.
John? Paul?
While you or I may personally have opinions on immigration in Arizona or on Arizona Senate Bill 1070, as a municipal corporation, the city of Washougal should not. If you or I or any elected official of the city of Washougal or not has an opinion, they should express it personally to their state and federal legislators. The fact that many won't is not sufficient reason for the City Council of Washougal to pretend to speak for them. I believe it is wrong for the City Council to speak for the entirety of Washougal